Hey Hart fans, Butch Hartman here, and these are my glasses. I'm so glad you're here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the little subscribe button. That way, you're part of the team. We can use you when the aliens come. There's lots of mysteries in the universe, you know, like where does that one sock go when you put them in the dryer? There's always one missing. Where does it go? I don't even know. That's a big mystery. Is Bigfoot real? I don't know. It'd be cool if he was, because I would get him on the channel right here. Hey Bigfoot, what's up? See what I'm saying? He's right over there. One of the big mysteries of life is whatever happened to Chester and AJ on the Fairly Odd Parents. You know, like Rod Serling on the Twilight Zone? Let's play some Twilight Zone music here. Here we go. Whatever happened to Chester and AJ on the Fairly Odd Parents? We'll find out right now on the Butch Hartman channel after you subscribe. Okay, that was a bad Rod Serling. You don't even know who he is. All right, anyway, whatever happened to Chester and AJ on the Fairly Odd Parents? I mean, think about it. Whatever became of them? We had them on the show for a great number of years, I think for the first 4 or 5, maybe even 6 seasons, and then they just suddenly started not appearing so much. Did they grow up, and did like AJ become Colonel Nick Fury in the Marvel Universe? I could see that. No hair, very smart, I could see that. Did Chester become Captain Steve Rogers and subsequently become Captain America? Did they grow up in Dimsdale and become other things? Did Chester become like this rock star or like this famous baseball player like his dad, Bucky McBadbad? Did AJ move on to be like a super smart scientist in the town of Dimsdale and like maybe you know, bring in new ways of conserving water and maybe finding out why Doug Dimmadome's hat is so darn huge and how to figure out what universe it actually extends into? Did AJ do that? I don't even know. Let's talk about it for a second. Like, why would Chester and AJ suddenly vanish from a long-running show like Fairly Odd Parents? I mean, I think to do that, we should ask the creator of the Fairly Odd Parents. Hey guys, I'm Butch Hartman, creator of the Fairly Odd Parents. Let's ask me what happened to Chester and AJ. Hey Butch, what happened to Chester and AJ? You mean Chester and AJ from the Fairly Odd Parents? That's right, Chester and AJ from the Fairly Odd Parents. What do you mean what happened to them? They were on the show and people seemed to really like them. I know that, but then they just kind of vanished and no one really knew what happened to them. Oh, right. That Butch Hartman, he's crazy. So Chester and AJ, what really happened? We got Cosmo, we got Timmy, we got Wanda. We got characters that are on the show all the time. Timmy's dad, Mr. Crocker, Dark Laser, Poof, who showed up later, and Vicky. Whatever happened to Vicky? That's another video we should do. Want to know about that? Leave a comment down in the comment section below. When you're doing a show like Fairly Odd Parents, which premiered on the air on Nickelodeon on March 30th of 2001, we had several characters already really established. Because I had done several short cartoons for Nickelodeon. They're just called the Fairly Odd Parents. I pretty much did those shorts kind of on my own. I had 1 or 2 other people helping me with character designs a little bit, and I had some help a little bit with the stories, and I had one gentleman helping me do backgrounds. But I pretty much was a one-man show on those. When I was making those, we established several characters. Timmy Turner, Vicky, Cosmo, and Wanda. And Timmy's mom and dad on there, but not a lot. We kind of had them as faceless characters off stage. You could barely see them, just their legs and their hands and things like that. And then when the show got picked up as a series, I had to expand the world. I had to give Timmy some friends. I had to give him a school. I couldn't just keep him in the house with Vicky all the time because the stories would get boring. My dream for Fairly Odd Parents when I was first doing it, I wanted to give it a universe like The Simpsons. If you look at The Simpsons, you have the Simpson family. Homer Simpson. Oh, and Marge Simpson. Oh, and yeah, I can't do Bart's voice. I can't. That's a bad Bart. Maybe Bart Simpson, Lisa, and then Maggie the little baby. But then they started expanding that world so much it was great. One of my favorites was Troy McClure. You might know me from such spin-offs as Son of Sanford and Son and After Mannix. That man Smith is wearing that pink shirt. Who is he? That's Homer Simpson, sir. Really thinks he's cock of the walk. Homer Simpson is cock of nothing. So I'm introducing this brand new show, Fairly Odd Parents. I'm expanding the world because Timmy Turner's all by himself trying to fight Vicky with the Fairly Odd Parents, and Cosmo and Wanda kind of have to hide a lot, so they can't be everywhere around Timmy at all times. So I gave Timmy 2 friends, Chester McBadbat, we thought of his last name later on, and then AJ, whose last name I don't think we ever put in the show. So if you can find an episode of AJ's last name, let me know. I don't think we ever did it. So Chester and AJ were in the show at the beginning of the run. It was really awesome. Chester was voiced by the amazing Frankie Muniz from Malcolm in the Middle. Malcolm in the Middle was a very huge show at the time on Fox, and I really loved that show. If you watch it to this day, it's still a very, very funny show.
My name is Malcolm. You want to know what the best thing about childhood is? At some point it stops.
Frankie Muniz was just fantastic on the show, so I actually put out the word. I'm like, hey, can we get Frankie Muniz? Never thinking he would do it, and he came in and did it. And we just had a great time working with Frankie. And he was such a talented kid to do Chester's voice. I think he did it for the first 2 seasons. After a while, Frankie got so busy we couldn't really get him in the studio as much. As sad as it was, we had to kind of find another actor who could come in on a more regular basis. So we got the fantastic and super talented Jason Marsden to come in. And Jason's been on everything, and Jason was just such a talented guy to come in and do Chester's voice for us for the remainder of Chester's time on the show. AJ was voiced by a young man named Ibrahim Hanif Muhammad. That was his name. Great young actor. And then we changed him out. I don't remember why. I don't think he could do it anymore. We ended up having to get another actor, and we got a young man named Gary Leroy Gray, who came in to do AJ for the remainder of AJ's time on the show too. And those guys, all the people who did the voices for Chester and AJ were just so fantastic. Now, let's get real. Why are Chester and AJ no longer on Fairly Odd Parents? They still are on Fairly Odd Parents. We just don't do as many stories with them as we used to. Fairly Odd Parents, it was such a blessing to be doing Fairly Odd Parents for such a long run that, like I said about the Simpsons cast, as the show went on, we kept building the cast of characters. I mean, we had the Crimson Chin, we had Crash Nebula, we had Timmy's dad. Timmy's dad just went from boring character to super entertaining character, so we used him as much as we could.
Morning to you too, Dad. Did you watch Dancing with the Dads last night? Yeah. Who knew Dad would make the finals?
Mr. Crocker became a character that we just loved putting in shows because he was just so much fun to put in. Oh, the frustration. Oh, I'll get you to turn your fairy godparents. Fairies, fairies. You know, we would get him in the show, and he was just such a rich character. You could do anything with him. As you're sitting in a writing room and coming up with stories and things, we'd sit in the room, and the Mr. Crocker jokes just started flying through the air. They were just so funny. And when we started pairing up Dark Laser with Mr. Crocker and Foop, just having that trio of idiots trying to fight Timmy Turner was just so much fun. And not that Chester and AJ were boring characters. They weren't boring, but they became a little less fun to write for than some of the other characters. Chester and AJ are still a huge part of the Fairly Odd Parents family. They never really vanished. They just became a couple of those characters that helped build the show, helped get it launched. Sadly enough, some of the characters kind of fade into the background. Even Trixie Tang was one of those characters, and her friend Veronica. They helped build the show to a certain point, and they just kind of just go away because you really can't think of stories for them that are as much fun as some of the other characters. That's kind of what happened to Chester and AJ. We love them tremendously and very dearly. You love any character that you create, that you can create a world for and a life for. We even got into Chester's life a lot more. Chester's dad, the tragic and sad Bucky McBadbad, and Chester was still so upbeat about his life. And AJ's dad, his dad was a really happy guy, and his family. We really just had a great time writing those characters, and they really helped build the foundational building blocks of the Fairly Odd Parents universe. So I have great, deep love and respect for those characters, the great voice actors who voiced them. I thank them so much, and I thank all of you for being so enamored of the characters and loving them enough to where you want to know what happened to them. Did you love this? Do you want to see more videos about this, like behind the scenes about Fairly Odd Parents? More things, more mysteries? What other characters on the show are you curious about and the making of? Let me know down in the comment section. Also, how about Danny Phantom? Are the characters in Danny Phantom you want to know more about? Why we did them, why we stopped doing them, or whatever became of, or why we didn't do certain characters or expand on them? Let me know. Tough Puppy, Bunsen, anything else I've done, let me know. Okay, because I'm here to make you guys happy and bring you into the Twilight Zone. We might even have some cool giveaways coming up soon if you guys are into that sort of thing. You want to get a free drawing from me? I mean, what do you think? It's up to you guys. All right. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget, art gives you power. Use it wisely.